You're listening to the iGaming News Podcast, your source for global insights, breaking headlines, and expert voices from across the industry. Brought to you by the team at iGaming.news, we go beyond the press releases to spotlight the people and trends shaping the future of betting, gaming, and iGaming regulation. Whether you're an operator, affiliate, supplier, or a regulator, stay ahead of the curve right here. In today's episode, we're joined by Elliott Banks, the founder of PureWager Group, which is one of the newest and most exciting operations to enter the US sports betting market. With experience spanning both land-based casinos and digital gaming, Elliott has launched PureWager with ambitious plans for growth across the US and beyond. It's really lovely to have you on today. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. It's exciting.
Great. And to start, could you maybe introduce yourself and explain how you got into the wonderful world of iGaming?
Yeah, look, it is a wonderful world. I'm Elliott Banks. I'm the co-founder and CEO of PureWager Group. My background has always been in the intersection between technology, betting, and entertainment. I got into iGaming, I want to say maybe 16 years ago. Well, gaming in general, 16 years ago. Started in the retail side of this business, working with land-based casinos, working with slot machine manufacturers, and the world of technology around those developments. And then sort of took a natural progression a few years back now into the online side as it was opening up more. Obviously, there is some real legacy markets, but when it became a bit more of a forward thinking, a bit more of an agile business or market to be in. That's when I got in, and I've never looked back. I can't see myself doing anything else, to be honest.
It's got you now.
Yeah.
I know you've spent many years across both kind of land-based and digital iGaming. What key lessons would you say you've learned from each side of the industry, and how has that influenced you with building PureWager?
Well, I'd say the land-based side really teaches you something that digital operators sometimes underestimate. Atmosphere plays a big part in choosing your type of entertainment and then going back to your type of entertainment. And it's something that you can't really replicate from the online side. But we are positioning ourselves as PureWager, but also as an industry, I believe, into making it a more sort of rounded solution where one feeds the other. I don't think that land-based will ever really diminish. Yes, it slows down with trends and travel restrictions, but it's there for a reason. It's there because it really helps bolster the online efforts. And the digital side teaches you the importance of speed and data, personalization, scalability. Really what we need to get to is that middle ground where the two lessons combine and you create a digital product with the sophistication of something retail and the forward thinkingness of and speed of something that's digital.
Wonderful. And at what point did you decide the market needed a new operator like PureWager, and really what gave you the conviction to launch the product?
So my co-founder and I, so Wayne Stevenson's my co-founder. For the last few years, we've been looking at what people are doing correct and what people are doing slightly incorrect. And we've both been lucky enough to consult with various businesses across the globe. And we've really taken those learnings and thought to ourselves, well, why don't we develop the next thing that is a fully owned infrastructure, but also is for the player, essentially, and it really sort of leans itself well on being responsible but not restrictive, being something that people can go to daily without having to actually interact with the aspect of gaming. So that's where PureWager really built itself out of. We don't need to pay as much to acquire players as larger incumbents. We don't need to give as much away. But what we do give away is, well, not even is, but what we do give away should be something that's tangible, something that you actually want to receive as a player or as a consumer. it's not always a free bet, right? They're going to come regardless. Everyone gives out free bets, and if you're smart enough or in the right jurisdiction, then those will be tax deductible for you. But the reality is, outside of just chasing free bets and paying a fortune to affiliates for players that are being recycled, we want to give these consumers something more, something that's actually tangible, something that's a real value.
Of course, and PureWager is entering a highly competitive US landscape. How are you positioning the brand differently from the more established operators that are already championing the US market?
So we're really positioning PureWager as a loyalty-led, partnership-driven sportsbook and iGaming operator. We're not just going for bonuses. The established operators have done an excellent job building market awareness, but much of the industry has become too reliant on the short-term incentives. Our approach is completely different, really. We want to own the relationship. We want there to be genuine value. We're not trying to rent customers. We're not trying to rent consumers. We are trying to cultivate an environment and a community where people are constantly interacting, and we're creating loyalty without the added cost. But also giving back. So we have a massive amount of community focus around everything we're doing, not just from a responsible gambling position, but also a community awareness. We want to be localized to everywhere we go, not from a acquisition standpoint, but from we really need to understand the issues, right? And we need to understand how we can, as this form of entertainment, give back, whether that's via sports partnerships, whether that's commercial partnerships, or whether that's charitable endeavors. We really want to position ourselves as the For You brand.
PureWager has become an exclusive sports betting partner of the Orioles. Could you expand on the partnership and how it supports your go-to-market strategy, particularly on the resale side of things?
Yeah, look, our partnership with the Orioles is fantastic. It's great to be a part of Major League Baseball, but also a part of such a prestigious ball club. Oriole Park is a fantastic venue, and we're genuinely delighted to be a part of it. And the PureWager Pavilion is up in lights there. It's a great social space. It's affordable seating. It can be rented for events. It's really becoming, to be honest. And we were lucky enough to go out for the home opener as a team. And we got to witness that firsthand. It was a daunting experience. You don't quite realise how big Oriole Park is, especially with their new scoreboard. The new scoreboard that they've spent a bit of time renovating. We sit just underneath that, and it's really a sight to behold. But for us, it really was about being a core part of the Maryland market. We wanted to appeal to everyone. I mean, most people are baseball fans, right? And we're lucky enough that Oriole Park is centered in Baltimore. It's a fantastic location, and it really leans itself well. While we can't provide betting on site via the retail aspect, we are looking at various different locations throughout the state for where we can have a placement for our retail betting kiosks, which are in state, right? We're just trying to finalise where they should go and make sure we're in the right position for that. But the activation within the pavilion is going to be key for us. This is bigger than just sports betting. This is about being part of the community, and we believe that isn't just for collecting consumers. That being a part of the community is really about being a part of the community, being seen, being heard, giving back. And the PureWager's partnership with the Orioles really helps us give that launch pad, and it puts us in a position to be known and recognised.
Of course. With multi-state expansion already in motion for the brand, what have been the biggest regulatory or operational hurdles that you've faced so far?
I think we're lucky in a sense that because we're coming in fresh, right? We've not operated in any other markets as a brand. We've obviously all worked in various different markets, but we as an established business, we are fresh for US facing and North American facing. It does allow us a certain amount of sort of speed and ease when it comes to the regulations, because we are clean and forward thinking, we have all of our information available. So we kind of have to look at this slightly differently. We've not operated somewhere else and came over, which would have its own set of headaches. We are fresh on the scene, and we're a US entity. That's not without its complexities, though, because obviously we need to be aware of different tax regimes, different marketing sort of restrictions, how those industries work. Each state essentially is its own country, and what we find is, until you're in that process and until you're discussing with the regulator one-to-one, you're never quite sure as to how detailed they need a report to be, or how much information they need, or how much information they actually don't really need access to at this point. We're lucky in that we've partnered with a great compliance team, and we're so far, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but we're headache free, which is no small feat. But we do lend that a lot to our team, so that's really helping us through. We're in the process of licensing for Alberta, which is newly opened as a province in Canada, and we're in the process of licensing for Ontario as well, while we're discussing several other states in the US.
And beyond the US, you're exploring opportunities in the Caribbean, I believe. How does that fit into your wider growth vision for the business?
Yeah, so I'd say it probably wasn't on the initial plan, but plans change, and I think that one thing we want to do is make sure that we're staying agile. We're not going into markets for the sake of being in the market. One thing we've always lent against as a mantra is we don't need to be in a race to the bottom. We don't need to overspend and underdeliver. We want to make sure that every move we make is critical and has been well thought out. But with the Caribbean market, there is new regulations moving around that jurisdiction, and through a lifelong sort of networking opportunity that myself and my co-founder Wayne has been through, we really find ourselves in a position where we can become a staple B2B provider within the Caribbean market for specific jurisdictions, which I can't comment on at the moment because we're under NDA. But once we're in that position, it should be a very nice regulated market as well. So that's one core thing that we need to make sure that we're always doing. And PureWager from a standpoint will always be in regulated markets. We're not looking to be in any pre-regulated or unregulated markets.
And what's really next for PureWager in terms of product innovation, partnerships, or milestones that the industry should be watching out for?
So we're trying not to run before we're walking, obviously, but we do have a great team, and they're very creative, and we know what we would do differently. So the whole business was brought out of what would we do differently to what's being done, and that does allow us a certain amount of free thinking. We are quite a way down the way with AI risk management, and we will be plugging that in on Go Live so that it can learn in the background, with a look to move to a mostly AI managed trading tool, which just gives us a certain amount of flexibility in terms of markets and where we go to with our B2B solution as well as our B2C solution. But we're really trying to just stay on top of the curve, or stay at least with the curve, to make sure that we're not just trying to repeat things that have already been made. We are aware that there's a certain amount of expertise that go into everything, and we're not trying to be the best at something that someone has already done. We will partner with the best to make sure that we get the best solution, but not at the sacrifice of our own development.
Exactly. And I suppose lastly, Elliott, when you're not working on PureWager and within the iGaming industry, what do you do to relax, unwind, and have fun?
Relax. challenging word, right? I
Yeah.
think it's been such a long time that I could barely even spell it. I just enjoy taking a bit of time and spending time with my family and just trying to sort of unwind as best as possible. Spend a lot of time watching sport, especially US sport, but that almost feels like work sometimes. It's a good job they've made that entertaining. But no, I quite like to travel, to be honest, and I am lucky that PureWager does afford me the ability to be in different places. But there's also a certain respect I've got for visiting France and just enjoying good wine, good cheese, and good times.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for your time today, Elliott. It's really appreciated.
Thank you.
Best of luck with everything. Thanks.